We were 3 years into our marriage when I started feeling like a ghost in my own home. Julia wasn't always this way. When we first met, she was kind, a little wild in spirit, but grounded when it mattered. Over time, though, something shifted. It wasn't just the late replies to my texts or the increasing girls' nights that seemed more about escaping me than bonding with friends. It was the small dismissals, the way she'd roll her eyes when I talked about work, how she'd interrupt or change the topic when I shared anything meaningful. I tried to ignore it at first, telling myself everyone gets comfortable after a few years. But when respect starts to fade, love doesn't feel far behind. The breaking point came on a quiet Thursday evening. I had cooked dinner, something I didn't do often, but I wanted to surprise her. She came home late again, didn't comment on the food, barely touched her plate, and seemed more engaged with her phone than with anything I said. I asked her softly, carefully, if everything was okay between us. That's when she scoffed and said she was tired of being nagged. I didn't raise my voice. I just told her I missed when we used to talk, when she used to look at me like she cared what I had to say. And then it happened. She laughed, actually laughed, and tossed her hair back like I had just told her a bad joke. What? She said with a smirk. You think you're my only option? That sentence didn't just hurt, it shattered something inside me. It wasn't just what she said, but how easily she said it. Like I was disposable. Like the years we had spent building a life together meant nothing. I remember staring at her in that moment, wondering who this woman even was. Was this really the person who once cried in my arms when her mother was sick? The same woman who used to write little notes in my lunch bag just to make me smile at work? I didn't say anything at first. I just stood up, cleared the table quietly while she scrolled through her phone, completely unbothered. That night, I lay awake next to her, eyes open in the dark, wondering if I had imagined the love we once had. Maybe I'd been blind, or maybe I'd just held on too long. But something had changed. That sentence echoed in my mind like a siren. You think you're my only option? Maybe she was right, maybe I wasn't her only option. But she wasn't mine either. Not anymore. The next few days passed like a slow-motion car crash. Julia acted like nothing happened, like her words hadn't ripped through my chest and left a hollow ache. She joked with me in the mornings, asked if I could pick up groceries, even left the TV on loud like she was trying to drown out the silence between us. But I wasn't the same. I had stopped reaching for her hand, stopped checking in during the day, stopped pretending I was okay. Something had died in me that night, maybe not love entirely, but definitely trust and respect. That had vanished the moment she made it clear she saw me as replaceable. I didn't confront her again, not yet. I wanted to see who she was when she thought I wasn't watching. And what I saw broke me further. She kept her phone close now, even taking it into the bathroom with her. Her passwords had changed. She started dressing up more on casual nights out and came home late smelling like perfume that wasn't hers. I noticed unfamiliar names in her messages when she left her phone face up by accident, short, flirty exchanges with guys I'd never heard of. Was she cheating? Maybe, maybe not. But honestly, it didn't even matter anymore. You don't have to sleep with someone to betray the person who's trying to build a life with you. I started pulling away, quietly. I stopped doing the small things, no more breakfast in bed on Sundays, no more warm towel waiting after her showers. I stopped asking about her day because I didn't want to hear another lie wrapped in lipstick. And the more I withdrew, the more she noticed. One night, she snapped at me for being cold and distant. The irony nearly made me laugh. She accused me of changing, said I was being passive-aggressive. I wanted to scream. I wanted to remind her of that night. You think you're my only option. But I didn't. I just looked at her with tired eyes and said, I think we both stopped choosing each other a long time ago. That hit her harder than I expected. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, she looked at me, not through me. What's that supposed to mean? She asked, her voice suddenly uncertain. But I was done explaining feelings to someone who used to weaponize them against me. It means I'm not fighting for a place in someone's life who doesn't see my worth, I said quietly. And if you think you have better options, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. The silence between us was heavier than any argument we'd ever had. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something, then closed it again. And for the first time in our marriage, she didn't have a comeback. The morning she left, she didn't slam the door. There were no suitcases or grand gestures. Just a quiet rustling in the hallway, a few drawers opening and closing, and then the soft click of the front door as it shut behind her. I didn't get up to stop her. I didn't ask where she was going or when she'd be back. I just lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the silence she left behind, peaceful but heavy. She texted me later that afternoon. A long message filled with excuses, half apologies, and the kind of language people use when they're more sorry for the consequences than the betrayal itself. She said she didn't mean it, that her words were said in the heat of the moment, and that she didn't realize how deeply they'd cut. But that was the thing she did know. You don't laugh in someone's face and tell them they're not enough unless you're fully aware of the power behind those words. And once you say something like that, there's no taking it back. There's no rewinding the moment. Some things don't bruise, they break. I never responded to her message. In the weeks that followed, I rediscovered parts of myself I hadn't seen in years. I started waking up early again, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I cooked for myself, cleaned the house the way I liked it, even started reading again. For the first time in a long while, the quiet wasn't sad, it was sacred. And slowly, I stopped checking my phone for her name. I stopped wondering if she'd walk back through the door. I didn't want her to. Some mutual friends tried to patch things up between us. She regrets what she said, they told me. Everyone says hurtful things in arguments, but there's a difference between anger and cruelty, between frustration and contempt. She had shown me who she was when she thought I was beneath her, and once someone laughs at your value, it's not your job to convince them otherwise. Months later, I saw her again by accident at a bookstore. We used to visit together. She looked surprised to see me, maybe even a little sad. We exchanged awkward smiles and a polite nod, but no words. And that was enough, because in that brief moment, I realized something important. I didn't hate her. I wasn't even angry anymore. I was just done, and in being done, I found peace. Love doesn't always end with yelling or slam doors. Sometimes it ends with a laugh at the wrong time, a sentence that cuts too deep, or a slow realization that you deserve more than someone who treats your presence like an option. Respect isn't a luxury in love, it's the foundation. Without it, everything crumbles quietly, then completely. I never needed to be her only option. I just needed to be someone's only choice.